Hey there, and welcome into day 6 of our May Art Challenge, where little by little we are making more art in May. If you've missed any of the days, please feel free to check out my playlist. I've got everything in one spot to make it easy to find, including the intro video, which will kind of tell you what we're doing here. So today we are painting this pretty little girl because one of my granddaughters suggested that I paint a fish. And so I said, okay, I'll try it. And this is my first time. I don't think I've ever painted a fish, and I didn't practice this. This is my practice. And so there are many mistakes that I make. And of course, I leave them in there to show you that we can fix most mistakes. And like I've said before, that most paintings are rescuable. So let's just get right into it. I am using a larger brush than normal. This is a size 14, and this is just an inexpensive brand that I got off of Amazon. Everything that I have links for will be linked. If you ever have questions about supplies, just let me know. And I'm just coming in with a clean brush, water only on it, and I'm doing a little swoop. And since I didn't tape this one down, I can show you what too much water on the paper looks like. You can see right there, the water's kind of running down, and we do not want that. And so I'm going to just kind of wipe my brush on the paper towel to dry it for the most part, and then it acts as a sponge, and it's lifting that excess water out. And now I can show you what a nice little glistening paper looks like. That is what we want. No puddles, no pooling. And now I'm coming in with my first color. I'm starting with a yellow green, and I've got way too much water. Right, first mistake. You should actually go ahead and tally up how many mistakes I made. But I did the same thing where I wiped the brush on the paper towel and then just soaked up that excess water. Blue, too much water. Same thing, just tapped it on my paper towel and am just using that brush as a sponge to lift the excess water out of there. And now I'm coming back with just clean water on my brush, wanting to do like a flowy tail. And in my defense, I am not using a reference photo. I might suggest that you do use a reference photo, but I'm just going with it. And I'm dabbing in my blue and just letting it flow into that water. I did obviously 3 different little sections, and I'm combining those two so it didn't look too sectioned out. I know my words are not coming to me today, and that's okay. So putting the blue in there, just letting it go, shaping it a little bit, but mostly just letting everything flow. And then cleaning my brush off, just clean water, adding a couple little fins to our little friend here, and coming in with still those same 2 colors, my yellowish green and my blue, and I will just be combining those again. So laid down the yellow green first, adding the blue and letting those blend, adding some more blue into the body, and you'll see me kind of tweak the colors of the body here as we go. Dabbing things in, letting it flow. Everything is wet on wet, and we have not let anything dry yet. And now I'm coming in with purple. And you can use whatever colors you want. You just want to make sure the ones that you're blending together are near each other on the color wheel. So purple and green are opposite each other. So you can see I'm avoiding blending those two together. Blue and purple are next to each other, so that works out well. And then I'm going to just tip this over and let the purple and blue run together, and then we will let this completely dry. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you my colors here, but I'm using cobalt blue, permanent violet, and yellow green for this painting. These are from my Paul Rubens set, linked in the description. Otherwise, use whatever colors you've got. Okay, since that's completely dry now, I am going to come in with our second layer. I've got my yellow green, and I'm kind of just doing a curvy line just to go with the curvature of the body. And then coming in with my blue, I'm doing the second coat because I want everything to be more vibrant than it is on that first coat, and letting my blue and green run together. And then it starts to get a little weird here because I curved the body a little too much. And can you feel my struggle here? I was like, oh, maybe this one isn't rescuable, but I stuck with it and made it worse. And so this little fin here, I tried to make it better, and I make it look like he's got an extra tail, and that's okay. You gotta just go with it. Because here's the deal. Right here, I wanted to scrap it, but I'm thinking, well, if I'm gonna throw it away anyway, I may as well just keep going and see what happens if I just stick with it. So with my purple, I'm just kind of shaping the flowy tail some more, And then pretty soon his little extra tail there, I'm going to just try to make it look like part of the flowy tail. Adding some purple up near his eyes. And you can see here I'm removing some of the purple from my brush, most of it. And that way I can lift some of the purple from this extra fin here because it was just getting too dark for me. Now I'm attaching it, hoping that it then looks like part of the flowy tail. Still just not sure about it, and that's okay. If you didn't know that the extra tail existed in the beginning, you might just go, oh, this fish has a flowy tail with 4 different sections. That's the hope anyway. And cleaned my brush off and just adding more green and blue to make the fins even more colorful yet. Just have fun with this. You can just tell I'm winging it. This is just my first time doing something like this, and I'm just practicing right along with you. I could have practiced this many times over and showed you a polished version, but that's not what I do here. So coming in with my size 10 Jelly Roll white gel pen, and since this is my imaginary fish, I get to make the marks wherever I feel like it. So in the tail, I am just making some vertical lines, very scribbly, and really enjoying the contrast that the white adds to this fish. And I decided to add some scales on the side there, and no rhyme or reason to them. Some of them just look like dots. Some of them are like, little U shapes. Adding some stripes to our fins and loving that pop of white. Just add it wherever it feels right to you. And now I'm coming in with my Tombow pen. Usually I use Micron or Sharpie, but this is what was near me, and just going to add a couple eyes. Bigger on this side where you can see his face, and just kind of more of a little indication of an eye over there. And off camera, I just made these dots here and put a little highlight in that right eye. Forgot to hit record. And now I've just decided I want to outline the whole thing with my black pen, and just adds to it. I love my line and wash technique. I just think the ink adds so much. And at this point, since we're done painting, you do not have to worry about using a waterproof pen. That's more if you're going to add more water or paint at a later time. Some people draw their things first. I like to paint first and then just add scribbly lines because I'm not much of a drawer, to be honest. And just tweaking the black line, making it a little bit more bold in different spots. You can just play. Sometimes I do draw things first, and in that case, you have to have a waterproof pen because otherwise it will just make quite a mess, and the black will just run into your paint, and it's not a pretty sight. But here you can use whatever since we're all done painting. And I like this final result here. For my first fish ever, I hope to do one in the future so I can compare it to this one. That's the fun of painting. You can just keep practicing and see your improvement. And that's another reason we're doing this challenge, making more art in May so we can just take the pressure off. We've got little 3x3 squares we're working on. Just have fun, experiment. And if you give this a try, let me know. Hope to see you tomorrow for day 7.